The topic of this presentation is, what is economic efficiency? Strictly speaking, there's a very precise definition of what economic efficiency is. But the precise definition is something like this. A situation is efficient if there are no possible Pareto improvements. Now, while that is correct, it's not very helpful, because the concept of a Pareto improvement is somewhat technical, and because it also refers to what's merely possible and the absence of something being possible, it's rather a complicated idea to hold in your head. There is, however, an imprecise definition. It's not strictly correct. It's not always going to be helpful, but it's remarkably intuitive, much easier to grasp, and it's very, very similar to the precise definition. And the idea here is simply, there is no waste. We all have some intuitive idea of what waste is, and economic efficiency is simply avoiding waste. Let's illustrate with a very simple example. Suppose I am a farmer and I grow strawberries, but I hate strawberries. In fact, it's not clear why I'm growing them. Maybe I just inherited the farm that has strawberries. But I've grown them, and realizing I don't like the taste, I throw them in the bin. This would strike all of you, I assume, as obviously wasteful. Being wasteful, it's not efficient. So how would you eliminate the waste and achieve a more efficient outcome? Well, for instance, I could just give the strawberries to my neighbour, who likes them very much. My neighbour says, "Thank you, I'll enjoy those strawberries," and eats them. That's a scenario which appears to be, certainly relative to the original, efficient. Now, it's also a situation in which we've eliminated waste. What has that got to do then with our original precise definition? That is, the situation is efficient if there are no possible Pareto improvements. Well, first, let's explain why, in terms of that precise definition, why this original arrangement, where I plan to just throw the strawberries away, why is that inefficient? It's inefficient because there is a possible Pareto improvement. A Pareto improvement is just this. It is some sort of transaction or change whereby somebody improves their situation and nobody is made worse off. Okay. So at least one person is better off and nobody is made worse off. That's a Pareto improvement. And notice that's exactly what happens in the transaction when I give the strawberries to my neighbour. I'm not made any worse off, because I wouldn't have used them anyway, but my neighbour is made better off. So if I just throw them in the bin and refuse to give them away, I'm being inefficient because I'm failing to take up a possible Pareto improvement. Now, does that mean that the situation where I give all the strawberries to my neighbour is definitely efficient? Well, we need more information to know that. What if I give my neighbour 5 tons of strawberries? But unfortunately my neighbour can only eat about 5 kilos before he feels thoroughly sick. In that case, there is still waste in this scenario, unless the neighbour does something else with the strawberries. There are further Pareto improvements, no doubt possible, because there'll be other people who might want to buy or be given the remainder. So that's it. That's the simple concept of economic efficiency, precisely defined in terms of Pareto improvements, but as you can see, it converges pretty neatly with the idea of absence of waste.